Hi everyone, Velvet here, and I have some stories for you today. But before we get started, can you please do me a huge favor and like, comment, and subscribe? It'll really help the channel out, and it'll get you more videos like this every day. Let's get started. And our first one comes from Bad In-Law 1. Am I the beehole for ruining my brother-in-law's reputation by telling the truth to my friends? My in-laws are currently furious with me for hurting my brother-in-law's feelings and reputation with my friend group. Recently, my single brother-in-law, Chris, a 38-year-old male, has been hinting at me to introduce him to some women, and I refused. Chris has been single for almost 3 years, and he's been having a hard time meeting women. He tried flirting with my friend, but she has been cold and non-receptive. This was my friend, Grace, a 35-year-old female. Grace is not interested in him due to his inability to be faithful, and she wasn't physically attracted to him. He tried to flirtatiously engage with her during a small party my husband and I had last Saturday. My husband got a big, long-awaited promotion, so we had a little party. During the party, Grace had grown frustrated with his incessant flirting, and at some point told him in no uncertain terms that she found him physically ugly, and that his physical ugliness is only surpassed by the ugliness of his character. She told him this in private so no other guest had heard her seething review of his personhood. Chris left the party the following afternoon while my husband and I were nursing a wicked hangover. My in-laws, to my surprise, called me and scolded me for having abused and embarrassed Chris. After a few minutes of us shouting back and forth on the phone, I reminded my husband that handling his family was his job. So while my husband argued with his parents, I reviewed our security cameras, and Grace verbally tore him apart. Grace reminded him that he cheated and divorced his ex-wife, Lily, while she was battling cancer, and then that he got dumped by the mistress for being a cheater, as he continued to cheat on her. Grace told him that he wasn't a man of any significant value, other than the few coins he had in the bank, and that there was no way in hell she'd entertain his delusions of sexual grandeur and beauty. She also said the only thing he had going for him was his bloated job title as an executive director to a third-rate company that will probably collapse in the next 5 years. As a parting gift, she told him to consider some cosmetic work to improve his haggard appearance, and perhaps to start praying for divine intervention to fix his rotten soul, since there was no way a psychotherapist could ever come close to fixing what's wrong with him. My in-laws and Chris felt like I shouldn't have told my friends what Chris did because he is now perceived as my girlfriend's terrible person. I told them he was unfortunately a terrible person, and people would always find out what happened between him and the late great Lily. I then discussed what happened to my colleague, Natasha. She said I was cruel for having told my friend group about what happened between Chris and his ex-wife because Chris has grown a lot in the past 2 years and didn't need to be known for the worst thing he's ever done. Natasha is dating Chris's friend, so she also knows him. FYI, I've only discussed Chris's treatment of Lily with my direct friend group. That's only 6 people, and half of them already knew, cause they are friends with Lily. So it's not like I'm screaming hear ye in the town square. Okay, in the beginning, I was kind of feeling bad for Chris because I'm a dude and I know what it feels like to get devastated and basically what feels like jumping into a wood chipper when someone you're interested in doesn't like you and takes great glee in tearing you apart. But Chris is a cheater and he left his wife when she had cancer. I mean, come on, man. I would say the same thing for a woman in this situation. I've seen that happen where the dude gets sick and the woman leaves, so vice versa is still wrong to me in both ways. You're supposed to stay there for your spouse in sickness and health. And no, I don't blame you for telling your friends. I don't give a crap 2 years or whatever. If someone's cheated before, that wall that would stop someone from cheating, that's gone, or it's severely weakened, and they will relapse and do it again in my eyes. You can't have a cheetah change its spots, and that's the way I see cheaters. Maybe he'll never cheat again. I doubt it. If I was in your situation and I had a friend who a woman was hitting on him, but I know she's a cheater, I would warn my friend, as you should warn your friends. I wouldn't want anyone to end up with someone like that, because like I said, if they've done it once and he did it when she had cancer, come on, man. He will do it again once. It's like being addicted to something. He will relapse the second something happens. And when it comes to your friend tearing him apart, I think it's fair because he sounds like he was been bugging her the entire night, all the time he sees her. Like I said, you gotta put a shock to people's system sometimes to get them to wake up and to leave you alone. So in this case, not the beehole. He's definitely the beehole, and I'm at the point. I don't know. Maybe in the comments, I'm sure there's exceptions to every rule, but to me, once someone's cheated, there's no coming back. I don't think they could ever. I know if I was in a relationship with someone and they cheated, I'd be done. I'd be done. I wouldn't want to be near them. I could not trust them. Even if they said they'd never do it again and they never did it again, there's always that part in your head, where you're like, they're going to do it again. So, yes, tell your friends and warn your friends about him because no one deserves to be cheated on like that. That's so effed up. Well, maybe him because, he did cheat. But OP, not the beehole. Our next one comes from Emotional Skin 1405. Am I the beehole for saying I'll take on more responsibility so my parents can foster/adopt my special needs cousin, but only until I'm 18 and then I will be done? My parents have 4 kids. I am 16, the oldest and next to my brother Harry, a 13-year-old male, then my sister Jazz, an 11-year-old female, and then my youngest sister, Ami, an 8-year-old female. Harry, Jazz, have autism. Neither can talk clearly, but mumbling is the best they've learned, and they were delayed developmentally, so walking came later for them as well. Harry and Jazz are in the same special needs school, a private one. Because my parents wanted the best chance for them, and this place is highly recommended, both my parents work long hours for this. And because of the longer hours they work, and the aftercare they're paying for Harry and Jazz, it has meant that I need to take on more responsibility, and especially with Ami. I take care of her every day after school until our parents come home. That includes cooking and deep cleaning the kitchen after I finish making food for us, so my parents can cook for Jazz and Harry, and not risk any issues with the food because they both have sensitive taste buds, and they have limited diets. When Harry and Jazz go for respite, or all-day therapies, my parents make it time for Ami and just Ami. They don't want her to feel left behind or like she doesn't matter, but they're doing that to you. I do not get the same attention. I never did. Even when younger and things were bad, Ami was always the kid they prioritized, with time when they had it, and I had expectations put on me that I would do my best to give her a great childhood. They put a lot of responsibility for that on my shoulders by the time I was just 11. I'm also more responsible for keeping the house clean. Because of my parents' working hours, sometimes I'm the only one who cleans in a week, and I used to try and get Ami to help with some light stuff, and my parents told me to let her enjoy her childhood, but you can't enjoy yours. Recently, my uncle and aunt died, and my cousin, who has autism, ended up in foster care. My parents wanted to take him, but they told me they would need me to step up and do more for us to make it work. Do more? What are you talking about? You're taking care of the whole house. They even told me how bad my cousin has it in foster care right now. Dad told me he has not found stability since his parents died several weeks ago. So what do they want? Me to take over all the cooking, for me to do all the grocery shopping, but not with Ami, of course. They want me to start adjusting to have 3 kids, 2 with special needs at times, so they can take on 1 kid at a time to their therapies and appointments. It pissed me off because they also asked me to babysit all 3 special kids' needs so they can make a bit more time for Ami because it'll be the hardest on her. Not on you, but on her. That's rich. I was pissed off and I said, sure, I'll do it, but only until I'm 18 and then I'll be done and they will never see me again. My parents told me my anger was unwarranted and that everyone has to make sacrifices when a family is dealing with this many special needs kids. Am I the beehole? Oh, be what? No, you're not the beehole. You shouldn't have to be taking care of those kids. Those are your parents' kids. I look at they're saying, oh, let them have their childhood. You're a child and you are not having your childhood. Of course you're going to grow to resent them and hate them and want to leave ASAP. I would tell you to leave right now if you can find a way. Do you have grandparents that'll take you? Friends? I don't know. Tell somebody at the school something to get yourself out of there because they are. Is that a use? That feels like a use, man. They're basically destroying you a little bit, like making you. What is it? When adults make their kids become adults or something like parents or something like that. I forgot the word, but that's what they're doing to you. So they're putting all this crap on you, and they're just like, oh, we'll watch the golden one. You handle all the hard stuff. And I like how they have the audacity to lecture you and say, like, oh, you're going to have to step up and blah, 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 blah. And, oh, they're having a hard. Who cares? You're a kid. That's not your job. That's their job. And you know what? That sucks what happened to your cousin, but they're already having a hard time. They're going to add more on top of that pile of hard time like that. Of course they are, because they know they have you, and they can just gonna do what they're gonna do and just push all the hard stuff onto you, and watch their favorite because it sounds like that's their favorite. And our final one comes from Past Explorer 32. Am I the beehole for humiliating my daughter by treating her as she's been treating others? My tone isn't going to come off good in this post. I'm extremely disappointed in my daughter ever since she's been at college. She commutes to campus. She used to be such a kind person, and now she has this high and mighty attitude. Anytime someone asks for help, she will either be condescending, tell them it's not her issue, or straight up call them dumb. I've talked to her so many times about it, always results in her telling me she's an adult. One example is my son asked for help with an essay. He was learning MLA formatting and didn't understand it. She saw that I was helping him and made comments about him not being the smartest. I shut that down, but damage done. He already has confidence issues with his grades, and she knows that. That resulted in an argument. She's taking an art class, and it's not going well for her. I can paint, and she asked for help. I told her everything that she has been saying to other people in the home. She started getting really upset when I made a comment about her not being smart. I finished with telling her, this is how you make others feel when you do this to them. She is refusing to talk to me. My wife is pissed that I humiliated her and is calling me a prick. Okay, I was kind of wondering how your daughter came out this way because you seem pretty chill. It looks like your wife is pretty bad at parenting because she made a brat, a smug, entitled brat. Why is it okay for your daughter? Why is it okay with your wife having her daughter be a terrible person and put down your and her son? But when you do the same thing to her, it's bad now and you're a bad person and you're a prick. Why is she favoring the other child over another? Your daughter is not going to make it far in life with this terrible attitude. People don't like being around smug a-holes like that and tend to avoid them. She's going to start having a hard time when she gets to the real world. Hell, even in college. Well, maybe not, because she doesn't have to, it doesn't sound like she's in the dorms, but if she had dorms, people would want to kick her out real quick too. Your wife needs to stay out of it, because you're teaching your daughter a lesson that she's going to need to learn. Because, yeah, life's going to be a lot harder when you're a prick. Nobody's going to want to be around you or come to help you when you need it or anything like that. And does she think she's smart because she went to college? Take it for someone who went to college. That crap doesn't make you smart. It's just complete it so you can get your stupid paper so you can show people that you can complete a task. Which is garbage. If I was hiring people, I wouldn't care about your college degree or whatever. I need to see your skills and see if you can do the job, you know? But yeah, you need to find a way to get through to your wife to teach your daughter this lesson. I believe you're doing a good job teaching the lesson. And don't cave in, don't crumble, do not help her with her art. Let her figure it out herself if she's so bloody smart. OP, not the beehole. Your wife and your daughter are definitely beeholes though. Thank you so much for staying with me to the end of this video. Can you please do what I said in the beginning and like, comment, and subscribe? It will really help the channel out, and it'll get you more videos like this every day. Velvet out.